Hey guys, it's Friday. Beautiful early morning up in the Natal Midlands. It's kind of cool up here, but I know you're sweltering down on the coast, but I'll be thinking of you. It's wonderful just to be here today, just to be able to share with you a little bit about the Lord's Prayer, as we call it, the prayer that Jesus taught his disciples to give them a pattern on how to pray. We've been talking about the phrase, "Thy kingdom come." We've spoken so far about the fact that there are other kingdoms. Jesus did not come right now to establish his kingdom on earth. That is still to come. Right now, his intention is to establish his kingdom in your heart. That's where it all begins. Yesterday, we spoke about how that happens. The first aspect of how the kingdom happens in your heart is through conversion, where we come to Christ as a response to his invitation to follow him. It's a great thing. The second aspect of bringing the kingdom into your heart is not just through conversion, but is through commitment. Through commitment. See, I see lots of people who will put up their hand in a meeting and say, yes, I want to follow Jesus. Does that make me a Christian? Well, it might or it might not, because what it will determine is whether you're a Christian is not as by your ongoing commitment to the establishment of the kingdom in your heart. It's not a one-off event. There's a commitment to a lifestyle of values. Now, Jesus told another kingdom parable in Matthew 13:44 to 46, and he says that the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure in a field. Man was walking across the field and he saw the treasure. He was overjoyed. So he left the treasure in the field. He went back, and he was an honest man. He sold everything he had so that he could buy the field where he knew the treasure was. He sold everything because he wanted the treasure. There was a passion, not just to respond to an invitation, but there was a passion to get rid of everything he owned so that he could have that which he most desired. I guess this is where the rich young ruler kind of went wrong. He really wanted to follow Jesus, but he wanted to hold on to all his worldly possessions, not just his possessions, because they're not that as important as his values and his principles and his way of life. He said, man, I don't want to give that up, but I do want to follow you. You see, he wanted to respond to the invitation, but he didn't want to respond to the commitment to get rid of all that other stuff so that he could have that which he really needed and actually desired. Now, the kingdom of God comes into your life by invitation and then through a commitment to a deeper lifestyle. Now, there's another invitation that Jesus made. The first invitation was to conversion. The second invitation is to a deeper commitment. In Luke chapter 9, from verse 23, we have Jesus issuing to all of us an incredibly, to many, a strange invitation. He said, if you want to follow me, you need to take up your cross and follow me. That's the invitation that we get once we've responded to the invitation of conversion. Do you want to follow me? Now, if you want to follow me, take up your cross and follow me. Now, it's this cross that is intriguing. A cross is a sign that somebody's going to die. When you see somebody carrying a cross, they're not going to a picnic, they're going to a death. And that's what Jesus is saying, the magnitude of our commitment to Christ as a result of having responded to the invitation is huge. It is huge. Never underplay it. And when Jesus says, take up your cross, what he's telling you is that he's carried his, now you need to carry yours, which will ultimately lead you to a death. Not a death of your physical being. We're all going to die. We all know that. But this is a death to self, where we hang ourselves, our sinful nature we've done with. Now we've got to hang our ego and our heart's desires. We've got to hang that on a cross and say, Lord, kill it. And if that is dead, then I can pick up the desire that you want for me to have in order to follow you appropriately and legitimately. When we look at the cross, we say, well, what does this signify? I want to suggest to you that the cross signifies a burden that Jesus has for humanity, that Jesus has for a broken world. And when Jesus carried his cross, that was the burden he was carrying. Burden for a broken, sinful world. A burden that was epitomizing his love for you and for me. I want to suggest to you, the burden remains the same. And when we take on a deeper commitment to Christ, we get under the burden that Jesus carried, and we carry it with him. Now you say the burden of Jesus is an intriguing thing. He was Jesus. Well, Jesus is no longer physically here. He's left us to do the same thing. So to prove our commitment to Christ is there's a need to get under the burden of Jesus for a broken world, for a messed up humanity. You see, the difference, I guess, is a little cliche thing that we sometimes use in our church, where we talk about the difference between being a fan of Christ and a follower of Christ. The fans want to go to the party that the king spoke about. The fans want to respond to the invitation, but a follower is carrying a cross. And there are many fans out there who want to know Jesus because of what they want to get out of Jesus. They want him to do stuff for him and for them. They want him to heal them, to provide for them, to make them prosperous and successful. Wrong motive, people. That's not the motive of a committed person. Our commitment is to get under the burden of Christ, to share his, like Simon of Cyrene. Don't you love that guy? And he was kind of under duress, but he got under the burden of Jesus, and he helped Jesus to carry his cross to the place of Jesus' death. I guess that's a great picture of what we should be doing today. Maybe we should call each other Simon. We should form a Simon's Club, which is a Simon of those, or the name of those who are totally committed to carrying their cross. To be a fan, we just cheer for Jesus, go to church on Sunday, sing the songs, pray the prayers, and walk out exactly the same. The committed don't do that. The committed get under the burden of God. Help him carry that. I hope you're willing to do that, because that's when this prayer, thy kingdom come, becomes a real prayer for you. It's all about his kingdom. It's not about ours. Guys, you have a great day. Think about these things, and for goodness sake, go to church on Sunday if you can. Cheers, bye.